everyone. This is our first episode of Back from the Dead, where I will be your host, Destiny, that's me, and then my two co-hosts over here. We got Brad and we got Brett from Good Real Hunting. And yeah, this is our very first episode. I think we're all excited. At least I hope.
I'm jagged. I know Brad's drinking this coffee down here, and we're excited to start this amazing project with you. And just to give you a floor to be a host, we know you're going to be a great host, and we are so jacked about it. Brad, what do you think?
I'm pretty jacked about it as well. Pumped about it. We got some good stuff to talk about today, and going forward as well. It's going to be a good time.
Yes. All right. So I guess we can really just jump into it.
Yeah, just again, for people hearing about this for the first time, what is this show going to be about?
All right, so we're going to be talking about the horror anniversaries are coming up. We're going to try to do them in increments of 5, unless it's like a special anniversary someone wants to throw out. I may have one for this episode.
Okay.
We also are going to be talking about any horror news from the previous month that we find out, just to try to keep everyone up to date, try to keep myself up to date with everything. And then we're also going to be talking about fan films. Very important that they are being supported. Mm-hmm. And this will give them, hopefully, a little bit more light to shine. So,
yes, and for all the horror film projects and for all the articles we talk about, they will be in the description down below, so you know where we got our sources from and how you can go support those Indiegogo campaigns for those fan films that we discuss in this video.
Yes.
What article do you want to discuss first?
I think first, I'm pretty interested in the new Leatherface movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whatever.
Okay.
So, we'll talk about that one first.
All right.
So, when the movie was kind of first announced, which it was a little bit ago, they had said it was supposed to be a sequel to the original and that we were going to have an older Leatherface. Mm-hmm. But it's been brought up again. And what was his name? Mark Burnham?
Yeah, Mark Burnham.
Supposed to be playing Leatherface. And I'm pretty excited for this. I'm not the biggest Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, but I do really like the original. And they're kind of doing that Halloween thing where ignoring everything else, but you're going back to the original direct sequel. So I find that pretty interesting. I'm curious to what they're going to do. Really, everything about it. It's going to ignore everything, but I still wonder if it's going to have that same feel of the original. I feel like that's kind of hard to replicate because the times are so different, and a lot of stuff they got away with in that original, that can't happen again. They won't let that happen again. But I'm very curious to see where they go with it. And what was her name again? The one that's playing Sally. I forget how to pronounce it.
And everybody knows I'm terrible with names, so please forgive me. Olwen Flore.
I think you got it.
Perfect.
Yes.
I have not seen Mandy, but she's in Mandy. Of course, we can't have Marilyn Burns come back. She sadly passed away. Mm-hmm. But I'm very excited to see that Sally, in some way, shape, or form, she'll be in this movie.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I'm glad for that character to be back. I kind of almost feel like this new Texas Chainsaw movie is kind of like taking the same approach as the Halloween 2018. Where it does it many years later, and how we have an old man Michael, but we have a old man Leatherface. So I wonder if they're going to do callbacks from all the other movies, or they're just going to ignore all the movies and just do their own thing. So I'm very interested to see what Alvarez is going to do with this film.
I am too. What about you, Brad?
I'm excited just to have Alvarez attached to it. I mean, he's a fantastic filmmaker, and he's made some great stuff in the past, stuff that I absolutely loved in the last 10 years or so. So having him involved is fantastic. I like the news of the new Leatherface here. I think that's going to be really cool. He looks like he's going to have a little bit, the more experienced Leatherface, to say the least. So that's kind of cool. I like the take on that. It's similar to what they did with the 3D movie, I guess, but it's I think it's going to be a little bit better this time. It seems like they're taking it a little bit more seriously. That one was just like, it came out of nowhere. Whereas this one's like, they're actually planning it out and stuff. And I think I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good time.
I believe that's
Hopefully
also Steve Merlot's favorite movie is Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is.
I forgot what I was about to say. I think, yeah, it's going to be fun though, for sure. Oh yeah. I just hope it's better than Leatherface, the last one that came out. So as long as it's better than that, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah. Okay. This is like my thing. I haven't seen the movie. I have seen the kill count, whatever. But even the kill count for it, I was just like, what is this?
So weird.
What is this? There's only one thing that I really enjoyed from it, and it was after when the girl dies, and then the kids get taken away, and he's like, "You kill one of mine, I take all of yours."
Yeah,
that's like the only line. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. I like that, but everything else about it.
Oh, I know why you like that line too. That kind of sounds similar to a certain "Strangers Pray at Night" line.
Yeah.
From when Luke say like, "How's that feel?" Exactly. So that kind of like gets the same.
When Luke redeems himself, yeah.
Oh, we won't get into that.
Another time, another place. So, which that would be a good thing to bring out real quick. If you've not seen our Slash It Out for that video, the link will be right up there. So
yes, right up there. It's a fun time. Watch Brad turn red for just a minute. Watch it.
Trying to explain logic to some people, I swear.
To some people, some people would be me. I'm too hard-headed to listen, but I'm sorry. That's what happens. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm curious. Texas Chainsaw 3D is not that great, but I still have fun with it, and I do kind of like how it has the older Leatherface. So I'm curious to see if they kind of make him maybe the same, because he was almost like not necessarily you're rooting for him, but he is more sympathetic. But I feel like Leatherface in himself, he is more of a sympathetic character, especially in that first one. He has those moments when he's having like a breakdown, and you almost feel bad for him. So I wonder if they're going to keep that in this, or if it's going to be something like just brutal, just tearing people apart.
I'm hoping for brutal, because like I just like my Texas Chainsaw Massacre to be like a brutal bloodbath, kind of like how the remake and the original was. I would even love if you could combine like both of those styles together. And to tell a very good story. Like, again, like I'm excited for Sally's character to make a return, just to see like how she's been affected and where she's been at for all these years, and why the hell would she even go back?
I know. I really hope it's not. I do like Halloween 2018. I'm not the biggest fan of what they did with Lori. I kind of liked her version in like H2O better, like the way she's handling things. I feel like that feels more real than you have like Lori like bunkering down and stuff. So I'm curious to see what they do with her character, how she is after all these years, and like really is she like more broken, or is she more of like a fighter? Because at the end of the original, I would think she would be more broken than anything. Whenever I see that, I don't see like, oh, that's a fighter. No, I see her as like she needs a lot of therapy. So, so I'm curious to see what they do with that. But I'm excited.
Same.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And it's also, I believe the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre will be a 2022 release. It's just I'm not sure when yet.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. But yeah, like you said, my favorite part of the 3D version was the older Leatherface and stuff, and that kind of storyline they took with it. And I'm excited to see more of that. It was kind of cool. Yeah,
and also with like, I guess me being a little bit younger, I was maybe 4 or 5 when like the remake came out, maybe a little bit older. I've never seen like any of these big, like villains in theaters. Even like Halloween, I still haven't seen one. So with all these newer ones coming out, it gets me excited to be able to go experience at least a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, or like Scream coming out. Like I'm excited to be able to experience them in the movie theaters, because I haven't gotten to yet. So
yeah, and I know how you feel on that, because that's how it was with Scream 4, and which we will be talking about Scream 4 later on. But yeah, that's how I felt because that was the first time I saw Ghostface in the theater, and everybody knows Scream is my favorite franchise, horror franchise of all time, with Scream being my favorite movie of all time. So yeah, just to see those icons in theaters, because Halloween 2018 was my first time seeing Michael in the theater too. So I know exactly how you feel on that and what gets you excited on that. And this will be my first movie of to see Leatherface on the big screen. So I'm very excited.
Me too. I cannot wait.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, yeah. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw doesn't have the best track records for good movies.
Unfortunately.
There's a couple of them, but 3 to be exact.
Yeah.
Well, 4, but one of them's kind of out there.
All right.
Not that one.
That one is gone, but oh well. People still like it. I guess I understand. Matthew McConaughey, he's probably the best part. But even sometimes he's like, whoa, you're like way up here and I need you to bring it down at least here. You're just fucking going nuts. But he's committed and I appreciate that.
It's his first leading role. He was going all out.
You have to, man. You have to. Just side note, what an interesting little movie. And then Renee Zellweger, right? Is that how you say your name?
Yeah.
She's also in it. It's funny when he's like when Leatherface is screaming. It's like, you sit the fuck down. It's just like, what is happening? Why
it's so weird.
I know. Just a mess. I would have loved to be there on that set. Just not even a part of the movie, just like watching everything, like, who's in charge? Who's running this? But anyways, yeah. I think that's about all for the new Leatherface movie. Excited.
Okay.
Cautious, but optimistic.
I think for once it's actually in pretty good hands. Since the 2003 movie and the one after that, this is probably the best hands that the franchise is in.
I agree with that statement.
Yeah. So, can't wait. All right. So, next in the news, I want to talk about Evan Peters playing Jeffrey Dahmer.
Ooh, yeah. And I love my Netflix, like, going behind the mind of a killer and all that. So, this is a one I'm very looking forward to. I am too.
I know people are kind of, like, hesitant because it's kind of like when you cast these, like Zac Efron in. I can't remember the name because, it's like a million. Extremely wicked.
Wickedly delightful. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Something.
Yeah, yes, Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy. Yes, and I really like that movie. But again, with that, people are kind of put off by the fact you're casting someone who's so well known, especially with like the younger generation, and he's attractive and he's playing a serial killer. And I think it's kind of like the same thing with Evan Peters. I've seen mixed reviews about it. Some people are really excited for it. Some people are like, no, why Evan Peters? But I don't know. He doesn't bother me that it's going to be him. I am an American Horror Story fan. So I like Evan Peters from what I've seen him in. I think he's going to do a great job. I just think people are kind of weird casting attractive people as serial killers because then you're going to be kind of like rooting for the killer, if that makes sense. It just depends.
Yeah, like I got that feeling from the Zac Efron movie. So I couldn't know.
Losing their shit that Zac Efron was playing Ted Bundy. Like, really?
I thought he did a great job.
He did great. I really enjoyed that movie.
It works. I think in that case as Ted Bundy, I think that was casted perfectly.
I think so too.
Because I mean, in reality, he was a handsome, kind of person as well, and it works. And the problems I thought that movie was okay, but I thought he was the least of the problems. I thought he was probably the best part of the movie, and as far as the casting goes. And I think this is the same thing. I think this is another great casting choice for a Netflix show. I think it's perfect. I think it'd be really good.
I think so too. And he doesn't look that far off from how Jeffrey Dahmer looks. And then once he's like, he has more of the facial hair going and the fucking glasses, of course. once he has more of those like characteristics that Jeffrey Dahmer had, I think he's going to play the part really well. And even whenever they did My Friend Dahmer, Austin Mahone, I want to say that's his name, he played Jeffrey Dahmer. And he's like more of a teen, like Disney. He came from Austin Alley, which is like a Disney show. But you have these people that are more connected with the younger generation. And I feel not just like younger generations, but a lot of people romanticize serial killers. And I that's something that always kind of like makes me worry when you cast people like this, because there's already so much of that just with the normal serial killers, but then you have someone who's so well beloved playing a killer. And so that's the only part that I'm just like, I don't like that. But I think if they do it right, it won't really matter, because you can't help that Evan Peters is attractive and they're going to cast him. Like, you can't help that he's a big name and they're going to cast him. I think it would be kind of stupid if they were going out looking for, like, oh, we need someone who's kind of ugly but still looks like Jeffrey Dahmer. I feel like that's just stupid. So either way, attractive people are going to be cast as serial killers. It's going to happen because it's fucking Hollywood. It's just going to happen. But,
yeah, plus you need a big star too in order to promote your movie. It's like, oh, Evan Peters is in this, I might check this out. Like, or like Zac Efron. Oh, I'm definitely going to check it out. So, like, if you get a no-name person, more than likely you're not going to check it out.
Let's not forget the fact too that Evan Peters plays a serial killer pretty good. Like he's a creepy dude, especially in like, remember him in Murder House? Like how weird he was, how crazy.
Yes.
And yeah, throughout pretty much most of the American Horror Stories, he plays a character that could easily, I mean, it's got serial killer written all over it.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna do great. I'm a true crime fan, so I do like these kind of things. They get me excited, so I'm very excited for this to see what they do. I haven't really heard much anything else besides Evan Peters is playing Jeffrey Dahmer in this that's coming out on Netflix.
I actually got you on that one. From the article I read, that the movie is going to be told by the eyes of the victims, and it'll be 10 episodes on Netflix. So they're kind of like doing like a little mini season or something, or like a mini story season, kind of like how they did with the O.J. Simpson trial, which I can't remember the guy's name on that. Brad, do you remember?
Who, O.J.?
Yeah, the OJ, thing that came out on Fox a couple of years ago.
Which guy are you talking about? The guy
who played OJ.
Oh, Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah, like kind of like a series like that. So that I felt from the article that's what they're going to do with this, and just tell the story for the eyes of the victims, which I think that's going to be very interesting, because we know who the serial killer is and know about him, but we don't really know much about his victims. But so just to get a victim's perspective of that, I think will be a very nice approach to this Netflix series.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart way to go about it, because, of course, with this, you don't want to just have, like, oh, Evan Peters is this star. You still have to remember who he's playing and what really happened in real life. You still have to pay respect to everyone who, unfortunately, died because of this fucking idiot. So you really want to make sure that they are still being respected. And that's something I really did like about the one that Zac Efron was in. Extremely vile, wicked, I don't know. But I really did I like that because it was more told from, I forget her name, but like Lily Collins, her character. You got to see really more of how it affected her. And I like that because I don't want it just to focus on him, because we don't want to glorify him and everything he's done. You want to have that fine line of showing what happened, but not showing too much to where it's like shock value. But you still want to remember, like, this really did happen, unfortunately, and that people really did die. So I think if it's more from the victim's story, I think that could be a good step in the right direction. You just have to play it finely. You don't want to show too much, but you don't want to show too less, because if you show too less, then it makes it seem like he isn't that bad when he's awful. So you have to have that fine line. But I'm very excited for it. Like I said, I'm a true crime fan. I've watched so many videos about Jeffrey Dahmer. So this is right up my alley.
Oh yeah, like I'm a fan of like as you said, of true crime stuff. Like that's the only thing I really use Netflix for to these day. Like to this day, it's just like just like the crimes like Ted Bundy and all the famous serial killers, and of course Stranger Things. Other than that, I don't use Netflix for anything else.
Same here. Oh, actually, I do watch iCarly now because they added iCarly. Yeah. Besides that, that's about all I use Netflix for too. Sometimes I'm like, why do I even pay for this? Really?
Mm-hmm. Right, and the last thing I watched was the Cecil Hotel, and I thought that was very interesting.
I have not watched that one yet, but I remember the first time hearing about that case. It was like from YouTube or something. I watched a video, and I was just like, the part with the water. That's the part I was like, oh God, no. Oh no, that's awful. I couldn't imagine having stayed in there, like brushing your teeth. So sad. It's gross.
Yeah, it was fair.
Yeah.
It was very insightful. But yeah, it's about 4 episodes, about an hour long each for one, though, so you can make a good day of it to finish it.
I may have to at some point.
Brad, have you seen the Cecil Hotel or heard about it?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it yet, though.
No.
I give that a worthy watch. Just like if you're just chilling around the house, need something to do, and just waste time, play that because it's again really interesting.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, they also did around the same time that movie came out. They had like the Ted Bundy tapes. I think that's what it was called. I don't know if it's still
those
on
are
there.
great.
That was a great, and I think it was the same thing. I think it was like 4 episodes or something. That was really insightful. I learned, because a lot of this stuff, it's like I don't really learn anything because I've watched so many things about it already. But with the Ted Bundy thing, I learned a lot. And that came out the same time that movie came out. So it was a little Ted Bundy craze. Weird way of saying
Oh, yeah,
that,
I remember that craze.
Yeah. Ted Bundy. Now it's like Richard Ramirez. Yeah. And if anyone's watching this, if you think Richard Ramirez is hot,
no, dude, he's got like teeth missing. Apparently, he smells horrible.
Yeah, he didn't shower.
Yeah.
Where's he showering at? Ugh. People disgust me and amaze me at the same time. But yeah, excited for this Jeffrey Dahmer, Evan Peters thing. I'll definitely watch it when it comes out just to see how it plays out. But yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'll definitely be tuned in as soon as it's released on Netflix. I believe it's later this year.
Awesome.
And if I get an exact date, I'll put it in the description below along with the article link too, just to make sure that people are aware when it comes out.
Very cool.
Yeah. Alrighty. So next, what did y'all want to talk about? Horror news.
I know what Brad wants to talk about.
Brad.
Yeah.
He wants to talk about his boy Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. Yeah, he's producing a Evil Dead sequel, which kind of came out of nowhere because he said not too long ago that the series is pretty much done, or at least his involvement is, after Ash versus Evil Dead was canceled. But he came out not too long ago, this past month, and he said, we're producing one. We're going to New Zealand this year, later in the year, to shoot it. And it's called Evil Dead Rise, and it's going to be set it's actually going to be a sequel. It's going to follow the storyline of 2013. I don't know if it's actually going to follow that specific storyline, but it's in the same universe and it's after it. So, so that was pretty cool. It's going to be set in a modern day urban setting. He said they're taking him out of the woods here, so that's going to be kind of interesting too. They're going to go to a little bit a different, more urban setting, and it's going to be modern day. So that's nifty. Let's see what else we got here. It's going to be directed by Lee Cronin, he was handpicked by Sam Raimi to take over and do the movie. And I just thought it was cool. He wanted to, obviously for Bruce, he wants this franchise to continue on and be something, even if he's not going to be a part of it. He said this probably likely going to have a female protagonist. So, it's kind of like the 2013 one did, and just kind of carry the franchise forward. So I think that's pretty cool.
And I believe Bruce Campbell's also going to be a producer, but he's not going to make like an on-screen appearance, from what I understood. So, and I'm okay with that because, like, I know, like, people love Ash Williams. He's one of the most famous people in horror, like, for his character. But I just want to see new with that
Right.
franchise. And that's why I love the reboot, the 2013 one, so much because it just went in a completely different direction. Of course, you had, like, your little Easter eggs and the end credits thing of him saying groovy. But I'm actually okay. Like, again, if you want to get your Ash Williams, you can go see the trilogy of, like, the Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and the Ash versus Evil Dead series if you want your Ash. But I'm ready for, like, new characters, new storytelling. So I'm really looking forward to Evil Dead Rise.
Right. So the director, Lee Cronin here, he's done a bunch of smaller stuff, nothing that I recognize, but apparently this is somebody that Sam Raimi himself picked out to direct the movie. So there must be something he's seen in some of these roles. He did one called, like, The Hole in the Ground and one called Minutes Past Midnight. That's, like, the only 2 feature-length films he has on here. A lot of shorts and stuff. But either way, there must be something there that Sam is like, you're the guy. So it's interesting. I like the urban setting. I think that's cool. They've never really done that.
Yeah, I'm very interested in that, especially if Sam Raimi is, like, saying, like, here, you're going to be the one doing this. He obviously has faith in him, and I think if Sam Raimi has faith in him, we should as well. I mean, you still do have some great people behind the movie, and the change in the setting, I think that's really interesting, especially if you're doing something new. Because even though the 2013 one is still in the woods, I liked how they, like, used her addiction for, like, that's why they stay. So I'm curious to see, like, what they're gonna do in the setting and how they can really change it up. It'll definitely be a different, change of pace for an Evil Dead movie. But I do think that's really what we need. If you're gonna bring something like that back, it should be new. And like you were saying, even though, Bruce Campbell won't be in it, again, I do think that's fine because he's not in 2013 except for the end credit, and that movie is still great. And I like that there's a female protagonist because I usually, if you think of Evil Dead, you think of Ash. And so it's nice to see, like, a woman kind of taking that role. And that's why I really like Mia in 2013 because, you have a female lead in this going against the Deadites. So I'm really curious to see what they do with this. The setting, that's really interesting. And then it's going to be modern, too. I like that.
Yeah, again, a completely different direction for Evil Dead, for, like, a classic Evil Dead film. So, like, I'm intrigued. Like, that's all I really can say about it. So I'm very intrigued. If Sam Raimi trusts this new director to do the film, I'm behind it too because Sam Raimi is just like he knows what he's doing when it comes to that franchise. So to pick somebody like that, like, he has to have high faith in him, and along with Bruce Campbell being a producer behind the scenes too. Yeah, this movie is going to be in the right hands.
Yes.
Totally. I think so. It's gonna be neat. It's gonna be nifty, and hopefully it's. I don't know. I mean, I like the. I mean, of course, I love the more goofy Ash Williams stuff, but I quite enjoyed when they took a more terrifying turn in the last one too. So, as far as the tone goes, I don't know. I don't know which one I would prefer. Probably, if they made a scary one, I mean, I'm always down for that.
Yeah. I would like to see a scary one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that comes up to a quick little side note. Do y'all prefer your all's Evil Dead to be serious or to be fun?
Serious.
Because that's a very popular topic among that franchise. And yeah, I'm with you, Destiny. I want mine to be serious. That's why I have The Evil Dead as my favorite of the franchise.
Me too. Yes.
For me, it depends on what Evil Dead. If it's Bruce Campbell, I like his more fun ones more than just because Bruce Campbell's just such a fun guy. It works perfectly. But if he's not going to be there, then yeah, I would take a serious tone all day.
Yeah, I definitely love a good serious one. That's why I have the Evil Dead as number 1 for that franchise, and then I have the 2013 one as my number 2. Because, and I think that for the original, it's still silly in its own way, and I think it's also because it's so low budget, and you can see that, and it's still kind of campy too. If I would like for them to maybe not take it so serious as the 2013 one. I want it to still have some lighthearted moments, but still not stray off to like the comedic side. I would like it to be serious, but still a little lighthearted.
So kind of like towards Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, just
like where it has some scary moments, but it did lead on comedy. But without the comedy part, you just do lighthearted moments, like good breather scenes, like for character development. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I feel like that's something the 2013 one, and I saw the 2013 one before I saw any of the Evil Dead movies. So I went into this like really not expecting anything, because I was just like, oh, I haven't seen those. So I watched it, and oh my god, it did not let up. It was just like constant nasty. I still loved it, but I was just like, holy shit, I need a second. I literally had to pause the movie because I had to go throw up from the movie. So maybe if it's not something like that, to where I have to like literally put it to the side to go to the bathroom and throw up, but not lacking the blood either, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Over the top bloody, as it's something like Hatchet in a way, because they're already over the top, but over the top bloody almost in a funny way, but still scary. I'm not asking for too much here. These are just my guidelines for an Evil Dead movie.
So hear that, Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi, and Lee Cronin. Destiny's got her demands. Fulfill them, or she's not going to watch your movie.
Yeah, please. Yes, Bruce Campbell, if you're watching this somehow, this is just what I want. But I'm excited nonetheless. I know a lot of people, they get kind of annoyed. They're like, oh, did they run out of ideas? Why can't they just make new movies? Like, why do you have to keep bringing old stuff back? And it's like, because old stuff is going to sell. Like, people, no matter like what age, people are still going to be excited to see something come back. Even if it's Halloween 2018, that made how much money? Like,
bukus.
Exactly.
Like record breaking.
People are still, no matter if it's an old movie and you're still bringing it back or remaking it, rebooting it, like I don't care. Because like I said, it gives me the chance to see something like this in theaters that I've never had, and people are still going to go out and see it. True Evil Dead fans, even if you're kind of reluctant towards it, understandably, like, of course, anything that's kind of new or coming out, I'm just like, oh, we'll see, because, you know, some remakes are just hit and miss, reboots are hit and miss, but I think you should at least give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it'll be good. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and perfectly said. Like, because I guarantee you, like when this whole lawsuit ends with Friday the 13th, it'll be record breaking too.
Exactly.
So we should, and plus, just taking the old school ways and making it newer for the newer generation. I'm okay with that, as long as they respect. Yeah, again, as long as they respect what they did with the original.
Yes, I think, and that's another thing. There's like always a fine line. You can't have it be a carbon copy, because then people are like, "Why the fuck did you make that when I can just go watch the original?" Understandably, but then you also can't do something like, even though I like the movie, you can't do something that Prom Night does, and you kind of just, or like Black Christmas. You can't just use the name hoping it sells because you have those fans of the original, but not anything like the original. There's like a fine line you have to do. It can't be a carbon copy. You can't just use the name. You can't have too many really nods to the other ones, like something like Halloween 2018. After so many, it kind of takes you out of the movie. It did for me. So I was like, oh, there's that. I was like, oh my god, Halloween 3. I was like, okay, we have another one and another one. So there's a fine line. I think a lot of these kind of you can't cross it, but I'm still curious to see what they do, especially with the new setting, something in a like more modern day, because even the 2013 one, I can't remember, did it feel necessarily like, did they have cell phones in it? I can't remember.
I think they did.
Maybe in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did, but I don't think they had any service or anything out there.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of what they were doing to get away, and their cars were a little bit more modern too.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, it was, you're out in the woods and you're isolated.
So I'm curious to see if they're going to use more of that, like any sort of new, because if you're in an urban area, I wouldn't imagine you're just like, oh shit, I have no service, but everyone's around you, So I'm curious to see if they play that into the movie at all. Any sort of technological advances in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very interested in it, though. Especially since it is kind of coming out of nowhere. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, there's a new Evil Dead movie. I was like, what? Really?
And Bruce Campbell's producing it.
He's tied to it. I was just like, seriously? But
I'm like, okay, you sold me on that.
exactly. Bruce Campbell? Okay. I will watch it. All right. Ooh, another thing we can talk about. Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, yes.
Woo!
Yeah. Are y'all excited for this?
I honestly have not seen any of the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. I know, shame on me, but I've always been curious about them from like what I hear and from In Search of Darkness, what they talked about the original. So I'm willing to give it a shot. I need to go see the other movies first to kind of see what I'm getting myself into, and just to see like if they decide like to change the tone and all that. So I'm very interested. Like I know you're excited for it.
I am. What about you, Brad?
Yeah, I've never seen him either, but I'm excited that it's coming back. And like Bert said, it's a good opportunity to get our feet wet here and see what else this franchise has to offer. But I'm excited about it. Christmas War is always fun.
Oh yeah, I love Christmas War. The Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise. It's so intriguing to me because you have your original, which I enjoy. I like that I like horror movies that you kind of follow the killer instead of he's just kind of there in like the background until shit goes down. The original, you're following the killer from a young boy as he grows up. And he witnesses some pretty tragic stuff. He sees his mom get killed and stuff from a Santa Claus. And so that kind of puts this idea into his head that Santa Claus is bad. And then as he grows up, he's still struggling with like the PTSD of everything that happened, but he's not properly cared for until one day he just snaps. And I really like that. And it's also, again, this is a character you feel sympathetic for watching the original. And then if you watch part two is like a rehash of the first one until like the 40-minute mark. And then it's its own movie. So really, if you want to skip out on the original for now, you can watch part two and you'll get the same. It's like Evil Dead 2. It kind of, except this one is literally the same exact footage. But
oh, I heard it was like Friday the 13th, like the first 4 movies, or like 2 through 4, but like on steroids, like for when they show what happened with the previous film.
Because it's like, so he has a younger brother, Ricky, and then the second one you're following Ricky instead of Billy from the first one. And he's like locked up and stuff, and so he's literally like at a tape recorder, like talking, and then it's like cut to the original, like what's going on. So they use a lot of that footage, so you can always just watch that one and then watch the original when you get some more time. But I'm really curious to see what they do with it. I am a Christmas horror fan. I love it. And I hope they kind of keep that same feeling from the first one to where it's more of like a psychological, it's almost psychological horror because you're dealing with what Billy is going through and you get to see him struggle with everything he's going through. But I hope they still, if there is that change in him, if they keep that to where he's not fine, but he's not a killer, growing up, he's just struggling with his PTSD, and then he kind of snaps. I'm curious to see if they're going to keep that, or if they're going to do something like Silent Night, the 2011 like reboot, remake, whatever, of Silent Night, Deadly Night. If they're going to do something like that, which that has like a different killer, it doesn't follow like a Billy or anything. with this one, I do hope that they follow Billy, and it's more centered around him. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. There's really, again, there's really not much. I know everyone wants Damien Maffei to play Billy, so much so that the producers, I think, were like, hey, tell people to stop messaging us. Because everyone is like blowing up their inbox like, hey, we have this like idea, you got to put them. They're like, we see it, okay? Quit telling us. But so yeah.
Well, we're going to be paying for your movie, like with ticket sales and all that. So we should have a heavy influence on that.
It's just an idea. We're just throwing that out there. There ain't no problem with that. Come on. But,
yeah, and it's scheduled for a 2022 release as well, which I hope it'll be. This better be a Christmas time movie, like a December release. I
hope so. Come on now. I think that's the smartest decision to have a Christmas movie during Christmas time. I really hope so. And I have high hopes for it. It's a movie that, even though I learned about like Silent Night, Deadly Night maybe last year or the year before. So this isn't something that's like my childhood favorite. I didn't grow up watching this. I didn't know it was a thing. So, but I'm still excited to see what they do with it. I don't know where I was going with that. I had an idea in my head, and then I started talking about my childhood, and then it kind of left. But maybe it'll come back to me. I'm curious to see what they do with it. And to see another Killer Santa. I love Killer Santas. There's something, did y'all watch Tales from the Crypt ever? Like the TV show?
Yeah.
I haven't.
No? Did you ever see the episode, I think it's called All Through the House?
I don't remember seeing any Santa Claus ones.
Oh man, you have to. You can find it like on YouTube. It's like, 20 minutes. But it's called All Through the House. And I think there's two. I've seen one of them. And the one I've seen, it has the blonde girl in it. I don't know her name. But it's so good because something about a killer Santa is so creepy. And it's something you don't really think about. But when you have one, it's like, whoa. Because then you have like, I love any scenes that have like kids with killer Santas because they don't know it's a killer. So they're like, oh my God, Santa. And then he like tries to kill the kid. To see
Not today.
Like that, yeah, that would be really cool. But I'm really excited to see what they do with it. I hope it sticks more to the original. I hope it's not really something like Silent Night, even though I don't think it's like a bad movie. I want Billy to be like the main focus, and I want it to follow him and to see him transition into a serial killer. And yeah, they better use Christmas music as well.
To have like a nice Christmas score, like horror score, And my last thing about it, kind of like to play off what you said, a Killer Santa is always interesting for a Christmas horror movie because like I'm one of those fans where pretty much what the horror genre is in general, it takes the things that are supposed to make you comfortable, supposed to make you happy, and just do a complete 180 on it. And the best example I always use is Child's Play. You take this innocence of a doll and you transform it into like a killer psycho doll in Chucky. But so I would love like the whole like Killer Santa thing. I think it's a genius idea for a Christmas horror movie. And I've always been intrigued by this franchise, and I've always been wanting to give it a watch. So I'm going to give those a watch so I can prepare for this newer one that comes out next year. And I'm agreeing with everybody else. Damien deserves to play the main villain because he's done a great job in Strangers Pray at Night, Haunt. And I'll even give him a little shout out for A Nun's Curse. Like, I know that's not his fault in that movie, but at least I enjoyed him for him at least trying. Like, he does care about what he does. So I think we should give him a fair chance.
Yeah, I think, and he's kind of said it before, he's usually masked in these movies. Pray at Night, Haunt, even though it's his face, but still, you don't know it's him. It would be nice to see him really use everything he has to his full potential. And I'm sure he would enjoy that too. Just to be able to, show his face, show he can do more. Obviously, he'll still be playing a killer if he were to do it. But to show more of what he can do besides just being a killer. And that's why I think the first one's so great. Because you really get to see, even though, like, Billy, it's played, because a kid, then he grows up, but you still get to see so much of what the character brings and his struggles and everything, and I think he could do a great job with this. So hopefully we shall see. And also, what else was I going to say? I hope it still is brutal. Like the 2011 one, it's pretty brutal, and there's a lot of blood, and I hope it's something like that. And just Christmas horror, I love it. I love anything in the snow. So if they could really incorporate that and use more. What kind of bothers me with some Christmas horror, it's like, okay, it's set around Christmas, but Christmas has nothing to do with it. But I think something like this, like Christmas is pretty much everything, because, you have Santa running around. So they hope they use Christmas qualities to their advantage, because I think it can really elevate the movie. And like you're saying, Brett, you have something you're supposed to be comfortable with. Christmas is such like a lovey time. There's always something that feels special when it's Christmas time, and to have that taken away because you have a killer running around outside, I think that's just a great storyline.
Exactly. I was like, the last story I think we want to discuss is good old Mr. Rob Zombie. He's at it. He's on the rumor reel again because I thought it was serious, but I did research, and right now it's just a rumor, even though it's a very heavy rumor going towards like more of the true side of him doing the Munsters reboot. And I think that is an excellent, brilliant idea for Rob Zombie to tackle that the Munsters, because first off, he's a huge fan of the Munsters too. And I just want to see him go full, like, balls to the wall, like, creative with all this. And I think it just works. I think it's a match made in heaven that we didn't know that we wanted until it was actually, like, in the rumor reel.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know a whole lot about the Munsters. I know it's, Universal stuff, more of a comedic thing, and I think the tone could fit if especially if Rob Zombie's a huge fan of it. I think it could work really well, because he throws in comedy pretty well, even though it's kind of usually weird comedy, but I like the way he does some of that stuff. Like he cracks me up at times. So I think it could work really well.
I agree. I know people, you bring up Rob Zombie, and either half the people are like, oh, yay, and then half the people are like, get him the fuck away from this. I'm on the more, oh, yay side. I'm a Rob Zombie fan. I've said it before. I like all of his movies, so I'm excited to see this. Like you said, he is a fan of those classic Universal monsters. You can watch interviews with them. Him and JMan Zombie, they both love the classic stuff. So I do think something like this, I know people are so hesitant about him because of his writing. And I think maybe if he has some help with the writing, and I feel like with something like this, maybe he would, because even though like Halloween was like a big, thing, maybe something like this, he has more heart in it, I would say. But if he has something that's more, I don't know. I think people will be happy if they're watching it. They're not like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Which I can't really imagine, even though I haven't seen the Munsters. So again, like, I'm not really well versed in this. But from what I've heard, it's more something like lighthearted. It's not. It kind of reminds me of something of the Addams Family, something more lighthearted.
Yeah, it's like a sitcom from what I understood.
Yeah. But I think if he could still do a Rob Zombie twist, because I still think he can, it'd be cool to see it something like, it makes me wonder, like, is he going to go like gritty with it and make it like nasty, or is it going to be something more like gothic in a way? And if he could combine those two, because whenever I think of gothic, I don't think of necessarily nasty, dirty. I think of something more like high profile. Like, I don't know. I imagine like candle operas everywhere. So I'm curious to see if he can kind of combine his style, but also with more the classic Universal style. If he can combine them both, I think people would be happy. And then if the dialogue, just to make those people, not so pissed off, which he'll probably do the opposite just to piss people off, because that's kind of how he is. But
it's Rob Zombie.
It's Rob Zombie. And I kind of like that about him. He's like, you either love it or you hate it. And if you hate it, fuck you, I don't care.
Like, I'm just going to go out there and make what I make, so.
Exactly. Because, even if you're not a Rob Zombie fan, you're probably still going to watch it. And he knows that. Like, you're still going to watch it.
I'm excited just to have him back with a major project again, because it seems like ever since Halloween 2, everything he's done has just been kind of low level. Like, not that it's been bad, but it's been, just not talked about a lot outside of, the horror community, and just stuff that people don't need. Like, none of them got theatrical releases. So, like, I mean, I guess Lords of Salem did, but it was very small.
Barely.
And, I'm just excited to see him doing a major project again, because I think he's really talented. Writing aside, I think he's a fantastic director. So I think it's good to see him back. I remember, back then I was jacked every time I saw him doing a project, and now he's doing something a little bit different, but still kind of mainstream. So I think there's a lot of potential in that. I'm excited, and hopefully he knocks it out of the park and does more stuff after.
Just a passionate Ron Zombie is the best Ron Zombie. Like, he cares about this project. He's not gonna. Of course, like, it's Ron Zombie. Like, if he'll say, if you don't like it, well, fuck you. But but I feel like he is still going to respect the Munsters and like what they have to offer. But again, add a very unique style to it. I cannot wait to see kind of like the clothing and like see what kind of violence he brings into it. Because I'm assuming that there's going to be some violence into this. Yeah. But so I'm just looking forward to it. I couldn't be more happier. I hope the rumor is true. And we'll go from there.
I know. And then everyone's like, oh, Sherry Moon Zombie's going to be it. She is. She is. Get over it.
And she's actually going to be
Tutti
Lily Munster.
Fruity.
Tutti fucking Fruity. Lily,
Lily Munster. Yes, and Jeff, I got some castings here. Jeff Daniel Phillips is going to be as Herman. And we got Daniel Roebuck, Richard Brake, Gorg Garcia, and Cassandra Peterson. So I'm that's a great cast to me already. And of course, we know his wife was going to be in the movie, obviously. But again, I think the cast sounds great. I love the concept, and plus, again, I think this is honestly a match made of heaven with Rob Zombie and the Munsters.
Yeah, I think so too. It kind of reminds, because of course, a lot of those people we already know from his previous movies. Because he kind of does that, but I really like that he kind of keeps the same people in his movies, because it's something like Adam Green does the same thing. He brings back people that have been in other projects, and he'll put them in the movie, and he'll write certain roles for them. I kind of like that Rob Zombie does the same thing, even though some people seem to not like it. I'm a fan of Sherry Moon Zombie. I think she can do great playing Lily. And then it kind of, because if you watch his music videos, they're all really inspired by Universal stuff. And that's also another thing that gets me really hopeful, is like, if you watch his music videos, he can bring that into this and it could still work. And that's the style I want to see. And then even in Living Dead Girl, you have Sherry Moon Zombie in her outfit, and she has like her long wig on, and she looks something more Universal. And I think the costumes are going to be great. I'm really excited to see the set design. I'm really excited for this. Hopefully, he is the one that's going to be directing it. Hopefully. And I hope he does well, because I really want people to see he's not just some fucking white trash hillbilly, He can do a lot more than that. And I think Lords of Salem also gets me hopeful for this, because if you see it, you can see he is talented, and he is a great director. And not everything is like the opening of Halloween. And I feel like people think of Rob Zombie, they're like, oh, white trash. But I mean, Lords of Salem it's not white trash. You have some people doing drugs, that's about it. But none of them were necessarily white trash. So even that, it gets me hopeful. I think he can really nail this, and I really hope he does, so people will just be happy and not always complain about Rob Zombie.
Right, exactly. And I recently got done with Rob Zombie's documentary on the first Halloween movie that he did on YouTube, about 4 hours long. And I watched all 4 hours because I was just so memorized, because I was learning so much about Rob Zombie, like behind the scenes and all that. And yeah, I respect him a lot more as a director. Like, I agree with Brad, like, just make sure to have a good writing team around him. But when it comes to directing and leading the actors and actresses and exactly what he wants in his vision, spectacular. Absolutely love it. Like, and so I could not be more happy. I hope all this is true, and Ron Zombie deserves a big project like this.
Woo!
Yes. Woohoo! Rob Zombie. I'm excited and hopeful. All right.
Oh yeah.
I guess we can kind of bring up Terrifier 2. Not much, but the runtime, but still
okay.
Something. So, yeah.
Let's see here.
It might be 2 hours long.
Yeah, I think the director asked on his Facebook about, like, would y'all mind for Terrifier 2 to be a 2-hour movie? Because I think he was worried about, like, most horror movies should be like an hour and a half. Which the original Terrifier was guy right here, an hour and 22 minutes.
Short.
Yeah, so pretty short for a horror movie. If the story's good enough, I'm okay with 2 hours. But as Brad always makes fun of me, one of my big negatives in movies, if a movie's too long or not. Because I'm not a big fan of long movies unless if they make sense or if I'm just very interested in the story. But I'm hopeful that the story is really good in Terrifier 2. It has a lot of potential. That's why I say, like, I'm not going to get like too high on it. I'm just like right in the middle. Like, okay, I think it's going to be good, but I'm not going to get fully invested until it's out.
Yeah, I think 2 hours. That's a stretch. I think. It creates potential to get some more character moments in there, but for a slasher, I can't think of any slashers off the top of my head that's 2 hours long. Especially not like pretty much every slasher out there is an hour and a half or less. I mean, maybe a little bit longer, but like even Wrong Turn, it had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of story moments going on, the new one, and it was just under 2 hours. And you know, even that could have been trimmed down a little bit. So I don't know. Either way, I mean, I'm looking forward to the movie, but 2 hours for a clown chasing people around and hacking them up with saws it's a lot.
It is a lot. I'm curious because I'm excited for Terrifier 2. I do enjoy the first one, and I think with the second one, you know, obviously they'll have a way bigger budget. I'm more, not that like the first one, you know, the acting is but take it or leave it. The budget wasn't huge, so that it doesn't really like throw me off. But with this one, you have, you know, Art coming back, and I'm hoping, even though he, you know, is a star of the first one, I hope this one, there's just something, like, he's just more in it. Like, I would like for it to follow him around some, too. You get there, Brad?
Yeah. And now.
But like you said, 2 hours, it's a little long. I'm not really one of those people that are like, oh, it's too long. Most of the time, I don't pay attention to that. I'm just kind of watching it. And then I'm just like, okay, cool. But either way, I'm excited. If it's 2 hours, like you said, I hope there's more character development. I hope maybe that's why it's so long, because you're getting more invested in the characters. And I think if it's something like that, and they're good characters, and you're really rooting for them, I think that time will pay off, especially if, you know, something bad happens to them.
Right.
I think if they're using the time to their advantage, then it's fine. If it's just Terrifier going around just killing a bunch of no-names, then it's like, okay. Like
we could shorten this.
Yeah, you're just doing it for the gore and for the blood. So, depends on what they are using the time for. Either way, I'm excited for this movie. Felicity Rose is supposed to be in it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see that. But 2 hours or not, I am ready for Terrifier 2.
Yeah, I'm ready for it too. Like, I believe right now it's for scheduling around October release for this year. They're going to try their best to do it, like just to release it around that time. Because I think they were supposed to do it last year, but the pandemic hit.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah, so the pandemic just pushed a lot of things back, especially with like movies like Terrifier 2. But yeah, as of right now, Terrifier 2 is going to be right now a release around I would say late September and October. Do we want to go into some fan film talk real quick?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's see here for fan films. Let me get my notes here. As far as I know, there's 3 like big campaigns going on right now for Indiegogo campaigns. One of them being the Sawyer Massacre, which is Steve Merlot's Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film. I think he's just as we're recording right now, he's very close to reaching his second goal, which is the deadline of April the 1st. So for when this video is released. So Steve, hopefully you achieved your second goal. Just a trailer of that really freaked me out, gave me the old classic chill bumps, and brought me back the feels of the original Texas Chainsaw. So I'm looking forward to it. He's got an Indiegogo campaign going on right now, so I highly suggest people go support that.
Yeah, he's really passionate about it too. It's something that he's really working hard for, and it's something he's been wanting to do for a long time. So now it's finally coming out, and yeah, I think it's going to be fun. And like you said, Bert, man, that trailer looked pretty crazy, pretty nuts, pretty brutal and gruesome. I like it. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, go watch it. When the newest trailer that just came out, when we watched it, I was like, shit. Even like the small clips he had of like the little tiny trailers, like micro trailers coming out, it's just like, huh. This looks really good. And then seeing the actual trailer, it's like, oh yeah, because you get to see more blood. I forget her name, but the one who looks like she's going to be playing like the main star of it. She has really pretty hair, super curly hair. I think she's going to do great just from what we've seen, just a little. I think she's going to do awesome. It does feel like an original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And if there's anyone that's going to do it, leave it up to Steve. He loves that first one so much. Don't ask him about like any of the others.
Yeah, please
besides
don't.
3D. Besides 3D. He loves that no matter what he says. But I think he's going to do an amazing job with it. So yeah, go support it. I'm really excited for it because usually when you think of fan films, it's usually Michael and Jason, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's just what people want to do. But to see like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre one, I was like, that's interesting because even though I'm newer to like the whole fan film world, I'm still learning a lot about them. But to see a Texas Chainsaw Massacre one, I was like, that's something. Not saying it hasn't been done before, but I haven't seen done too often. And I feel like that's something that not necessarily it's like hard to do, but I do think it's going to take a lot to make it feel like that first one. And just by that trailer, he's already accomplishing that.
Yeah, exactly. And again, Steve, very passionate about Texas Chainsaw, especially with the original one. I know he's going to do a fantastic job. Because for a fan film to give me goosebumps or like the chill bumps, yeah, you already sold me. I already bought my Blu-ray. I'm ready to go for this fan film.
Excited.
So, the next one, before we talk about one of the ones that we all support like very heavily on, I want to bring this one to light because Jason Knight told me about this one. It's called Voorhees Night of the Beast. It's a Friday the 13th fan film that I just learned about recently. They have an Indiegogo campaign going on right now. And from just the looks of it, it looks really interesting. And I feel like we should give it a fair chance. So be sure to go over their Indiegogo campaign. It's going on right now. And support them.
Sounds cool. I'll have to check that one out.
Check that one out, yeah. Thank you, Jason, for shedding some light on that because I haven't heard of that one. I feel like there's so many I haven't heard of, but at least this one still has a campaign going, so we can still support it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to do our best to bring light to all these horror fan films. So if you are a horror director having a fan film, if you want your name to be out there, just contact us, and we'll be sure on the next episode we bring your fan film to light.
Yes, please do.
And another one I want to talk about right before we get to the other big one is one called Jason Risings, another Friday the 13th film. So I'm good with all these Friday the 13th fan films, especially with the lawsuit going on, because I need my Jason.
Gotta take what we can get.
Exactly. And Jason Risings, again, Friday the 13th fan film. It's going to be a release of June the 13th of 2021 from what I saw. And if you've not seen the trailer, that trailer was a kind of like the Sawyer Massacre of like oh shit, this looks this is going to be really good. It looks good. It looks gnarly. And I'm really excited for it. I can't wait for June the 13th to get here.
I need to check that one out too. I don't think I've heard of that one. But
yeah, I highly suggest watching the trailer for that one.
I will do that as soon as I get off here.
There we go. And of course, with the latest news of the Black Christmas fan film of It's Me, Billy, with directed by Dave McCrae and producer Bruce Dale. Yeah, exactly. Two wonderful guys and very, very passionate about this project. Recently came out with their official trailer, which looked freaking incredible. Like, it doesn't even look like a fan movie. It looks like a damn like $1 million budget. Yes. Like the tone, atmosphere, the light, and the actresses, the three girls in the all of it just looks freaking incredible. Of course, McCrae does a great job portraying Billy on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a May the 28th release. So let's definitely give them all the love, because they have put all the love into this fan film, and we need to go support them when it is released.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's right around the corner.
I know. I'm really excited for it. That was like the first like fan film that I guess I heard of, because even like being in Killer Flicks, there's like a lot that I hadn't really heard of before. And seeing this, I was like, oh, a Black Christmas one. I was like, that's really interesting. And then from that first trailer, I was like, shit, like this is gonna be good. You already know. And then we finally got the real trailer yesterday, and freaking blew my socks off. I was just like, what the hell? It looks so good. The sound design was amazing. You could tell how much they really like love this project that they're working on. So I'm really excited to see the full thing.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's only 25 to 30 minutes, because I know, like, with the budget and all that, they could easily make a good hour-and-a-half movie of this.
I wish. Just from that little bit we saw, I'm like, damn, it's going to fly right by, because it's going to be so good. You're going to be so invested, it's going to be over. You're just going to have to rewatch it.
Hopefully it gets some attention, though. And
I hope some big attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it could lead to these guys working on a real project with the same IP at some point.
That would be amazing. That'd be so amazing. Show them how a Black Christmas film should be done.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck you, 2019.
Yeah. I haven't even seen it, but sorry. Fuck you, 2019.
Yeah, and you don't need to see it. It's a dog shit from a horse's ass, as me and Brad would be happy to say. And also too, again, according from this recording, the trailer came out yesterday for when we're recording this, and we also for Destiny and Chris Snyder and the Chad over on the House of the Living Dead channel, they did their trailer reaction. We did our trailer reaction too, so be sure to check those out too to see our full reactions to that trailer.
Yes, please do, because I had to wait. Because, I had woken up early and I was like, fuck. I was like, I can't watch it. I want to save it for my first reaction. So I had to wait a few hours. The anticipation was killing me. But finally, once I saw it, I was like, oh, well worth the wait. Super excited. I really do hope this leads to something big. And that's all. I feel like that's always like kind of the hope, really, when you make these. Like, hopefully someone sees this. That way these guys can have better opportunities, more opportunities to do some huge things, and everyone has the skills for it. And that's why I love fan films, because you get to really see who's truly passionate who can really make whatever they're giving work. And I don't know. I love fan films. I think it's just such an awesome idea. It's something I never even thought of. Like, oh, you can make like a Halloween fan film. You asked me that 3 years ago, I'd have been like, no, can't do it. But now seeing that everyone can do it, I'm like, holy shit. These people are amazing.
Yeah, like even freaking me and Brad making a Pennywise skit. Like anything's possible. You just got to go out there and do it.
Yes.
You got that right.
Even that, it's a little, what y'all did, that's great. Because you could see, like, y'all do have talent. Even if it's something silly and small. Like, y'all did a great job. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay.
We have something.
Y'all have something. Yeah. And it's great. I love it.
Oh,
I'm excited to see what else y'all do, too.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot of stuff coming up on that for sure. But, yeah, again, let's go support Dave McCrae and Bruce Dale with Black Christmas.
Yeah.
And then, and you say you had something for the Haddonfield Nightmare?
Oh, yes. As of yesterday, I'm going to say, they start their production begins again in 2 weeks. That's another one. If you haven't, you said like once this comes out, the campaign will be over, correct?
Yeah, correct. Like they're like on their last stretch, the last week.
But if you haven't watched like the trailers for that or anything yet, go watch them. It looks amazing. The coloring is beautiful. It looks like Halloween time, which you always want for a Halloween movie. It's like almost a surprise sometimes when a Halloween movie doesn't feel like Halloween. But this, just from what we got, it looks like Halloween. It just looks beautiful. Again, this doesn't necessarily look like a fan film. This looks more of like a big studio production. And that's just amazing to see with something like this, because it really shows like these guys are serious. And yeah, Braden's going to do a great job.
Yeah, Brandon will absolutely do a great job. And I'll be sure, if y'all haven't seen the trailer for that, I'll also include that in the description below, because that deserves to get talked about. And I'll have my Blu-ray ready for that project too.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good one. The trailer was pretty nice. And that one follows H2O and Josh Hartnett's character, John's character, I should say, the character of John after the events of H2O, which is an interesting way to take it. How are they gonna have Michael be a paramedic again? I don't know. It's gonna be cool.
Who knows? I'm really excited for that.
Is Michael Myers going to get ahead of life?
We will see. We will see.
My stupid puns, I'm telling you. I need therapy. With the last one, and I know Destiny's excited for this particular fan film, it is My Special Boy, the Friday the 13th fan film. And Destiny, you got to talk nice about this one because of your co-host on the Creeping It Real of Chad.
Oh, come on.
He's going to... Well, I don't know. From that damn trailer, he looks pretty damn intimidating, so...
The trailer, oh my God. Not that I had any doubts or anything, but it completely, again, blew my socks off. I was just like, what the hell? As soon as it starts, you
with Gia.
Straight into it.
Mrs. Voorhees,
Yes.
It's great that you're seeing, I mean, we don't know how much she's going to be in it, if it's going to follow her more than just like what we saw in the trailer. But it's such an interesting idea to go back to when Jason had just drowned. It's like, Freddy versus Jason. They kind of have that little snippet of when he's drowning, but you don't really see Pamela Voorhees in that. So I'm excited to see what they do. And again, it looks amazing. It doesn't look like just a little fan film. This looks like a studio production. It looks beautiful. And then you have Chad playing Jason, which... we all know Chad. He's more of like a laugh, kind of laid back kind of guy. But seeing him play something that's intimidating, I was just like, holy shit. Like, he can really freaking nail this. Especially that very ending of the trailer with him swinging it right down into, like, the camera, I guess. It just looks amazing. I'm so excited for this.
And the Sackhead Jason making a return too. That's what I'm excited for too. And that looks freaking incredible. That whole look too. And even the mask of Jason Voorhees looks amazing. Like, I'm so excited. I'm happy for Chad. I'm happy for James Grimm, and I'm happy for Sack. Correct?
Yes, Zach Francis.
Yeah,
Yes.
Zach Francis. Failed to mention his name, so Zach, I do apologize for that because I know you have put in a lot of hard work into this project too.
Yes, all the freaking beautiful shots. Like Zach is the man when it comes to that. I'm so excited to see the finished product.
Yeah, and you got a fresh new look for Jason in there too. Once the hockey mask is on, I noticed that was kind of cool too. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
I am too, and I love Sackhead Jason. Anything I just love Sackhead killers. To be honest, you have a Sackhead killer. To me, those are one of the most scariest. Even like really the first Strangers. That's the one that really I was like, holy shit! Like Sackheads are scary because I don't find Part 2 Jason that's scary, and I think it's more because he's like fumbling around. You know, he's not so intimidating. But with Chad playing the Sackhead, I think he can really make that scary because the Sackhead is just a great little mask. And then I love their own version of the hockey mask with the little, I think.
Yes.
They're going to do a great job. I'm really excited for this one.
Oh yeah, me too. Absolutely. So before we wrap it up, I think we got some anniversaries we want to discuss.
Yes.
Anniversary. Yeah. So again, like Destiny said at the beginning, that we're going to do this in the integrals of 5. So like 5, 10, 15, 20. And these are some of the most like notable ones, or like the ones that we can find. April's a little bit of a slow month when it comes to horror.
Yeah, so that's what I noticed. Looking this up, I was like, am I missing all of them, or were there just not that many? But yeah, I just don't think there are that many.
Yeah, not that many. I know May is going to be a really good month, and I can guarantee that. So, let's see here. The first one will go for 2016, and the two big ones for that are The Green Room and Hush.
Of course, those are 5-year anniversaries. 5-year anniversaries.
Yes, 5-year anniversaries.
Correct. With
and that's going to be on April the 8th for Hush and April the 15th for Green Room.
Yes, and those are for U.S. releases. Like they had like earlier releases, like in the fan film industry. But we're just going to do more towards like the USA. But if there's like a festival that's like pretty close to this to the month and all that, we'll discuss it. Yeah. And Hush, I'm an absolute fan of. I think it's one of the most underrated Netflix horror films out there. I think it's freaking. Talk about a suspenseful film. That is very, very suspenseful, and you really care about the character, the main girl in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Hush is amazing. Mike Flanagan, I love that movie. And then I love it because, you know, anything that's sort of like a home invasion, I love home invasion movies. Those are some of the scarier ones to me. But then you have someone who has a handicap on top of that. That's just a great
Yeah, it's awesome how you can get so invested into a character that's not even talking, you know, like or it doesn't even have anybody to interact with except for herself. When it cuts it makes the scenes where she's talking to herself, like it shows her actually talking to herself. That was really well done and really creative. I think it was I love that thing, man.
Me too. Another one I have. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
I was going to say me and Destiny haven't seen Green Room, but I know Brad has seen Green Room. Anything you want to say about Green Room?
Yeah, watch it. It's freaking bonkers, man. It's crazy. It's brutal. It's got your boy in there, Mr. Xavier or whatever, the professor from X-Men, the bald guy.
James. Oh man, yeah, and he was the guy in Split, of course, too.
No, I'm talking about the X-Men guy, the main one. Professor X. What's
You're
his
not
name?
talking about Captain Kirk from Star Trek.
Yeah, that's exactly who I'm talking about. Hold on.
Patrick something.
Yep. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. We figured it out.
Okay. Yeah, he's in there. He's the main bad guy and the main antagonist, Patrick Stewart is. And he does a fantastic job. And it does a really good job of putting these characters in a really uncomfortable situation. And they pretty much, they're screwed. It gets brutal as hell. You guys would both enjoy it. I would recommend it. It was on Netflix for a long time. So if you guys haven't seen it, check her out.
All right.
Is this the one I always get? I think, is this the one that people compare to Saw, or is that Escape Room? Because I kind of get confused.
I wouldn't compare it to Saw. There's really nothing about it that would be compared to Saw, I don't think. But there's, there's one thing you could compare it to Saw to. Just,
Okay.
I won't spoil anything, but there's, sort of. But it's not, as far as the story goes and everything, it's nothing. It's really not. It's not like that. But it is intense, and it's really like it's a situation that nobody would want to be in. So, to say the least.
And then also, and I forget. Wait, what's his name?
Patrick Stewart?
Is that the one that passed away?
I
think he's in Green Room, and I beating myself up for forgetting his name. He's in the Fright Night remake. He plays.
Okay.
Is he in that one? I feel like he is, but he was also in an episode of Criminal Minds, which is where I know.
Yeah. You're talking about Anton Yelton.
Yes.
Anton Yelton.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in there as well. I cannot believe. Yeah, I forgot he passed away.
So sad.
Man.
So young. Just freak accident too. Whenever I heard about that, I was really upset because he's in an episode of Criminal Minds that I love because he's kind of like, he doesn't really know if he wants to kill someone or not. So he's like struggling with that. But there's a scene where he interacts with like Spencer Reed, and like Spencer really connects with him because he's kind of like the weird, super smart, but like loner type. But yeah, whenever I found out he passed away, I was just like, it like took me back. I was like, no way. But so sad. He got like crushed by his Jeep or something.
Oh man.
It like rolled down, and I was just like, oh my God. So, and he was like 27, super young. And he was great from like what I've seen him in. He was too young, man.
Yeah, he was definitely a talented actor. And he did a lot of pretty big movies too. And then Green Room was obviously one of the smaller ones, but he was fantastic in that. I think it might have been one of his earlier roles.
I do need to watch that though. Another one I had from 2016. I haven't seen it, but I've seen it like maybe it's on Netflix or something. The Girl in the Photograph. Have either of y'all seen that one?
I've never even heard of it. Like, I'm interested. Like, that sounds like a unique title.
I feel like maybe it was Netflix or something. I never watched it. I really don't know too much about it. But I saw that came out April 1st, 2016. So I thought I would mention it for anyone who had seen it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's really all I got about it. I didn't look anything about it, but
oh no, that's okay. Like this is what this show is about. Bringing movies like that back from the dead that need to be have light shined on them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So let's see here. 2011. We're gonna have fun with this one. Even though on here I have Insidious came out on April 1st, 2011.
Which is today, 10-year anniversary today for the US release.
Today you're watching it,
Happy 10-year birthday, Insidious, which, holy crap, Darth Maul's crackheaded brother scared the shit out of me.
Oh my God, his crackheaded brother. The lipstick demon.
Yeah, and what's great about that thing is it happened in daylight, which most of the scary stuff is supposed to happen in the dark. And just to happen in the broad daylight and all that, I was not expecting that. Freaking Brad forced me to watch that movie after The Conjuring.
Got that right.
But no, Insidious is a fantastic film, and I absolutely loved it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my. To me, it's right up there with The Conjuring for the 2010s. It might be. I might even have it over The Conjuring just because it's a little bit more scary, I think.
Yeah.
And absolutely, I love it.
Insidious is like the movie that truly scared the shit out of me. I literally couldn't go pee without the door being open. I was that scared. I was like, I don't even want to be by myself. But I love Insidious.
Did you have when you're walking around like that and you got the tiptoes through the window playing in the
Oh my God. Freaking Tiny Tim, man, scaring the shit out of me with that song. And then not too long after that, I swear it was like the next day, because I was at my stepmom's and we had gone to Walmart. I'm walking around, and then I see this older woman, short woman, look just like, because like, I don't know if it's a kid or like an older woman, the one that's like dancing, and runs around.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it looks like more of like an older person, but then it looks young. You really don't know. I swear that lady looked just like that kid. And I was like, fuck, no.
Yeah.
Get out of this aisle. I was like, I'm not dealing with it. But Insidious scared the fuck out of me. So yeah, happy birthday, Insidious. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. And Destiny, I know you want to talk about this one. This is like the big highlight for anniversaries that we'll talk about.
Oh yeah, Scream 4?
Scream 4. That would be April the 15th of 2011. I remember seeing this in theaters for my birthday. My first time seeing Ghostface on the big screen, and I absolutely fell in love with it.
Oh yeah, this was, even though I didn't see it in theaters, because I mean, even in 2011, I was maybe 13, but this was like the first Scream movie that I went in because I can't remember a time not knowing who Ghostface was, like in each movie. I can't remember that. So this was my first one trying to like figure out like, oh, who's Ghostface? Like trying to use all the, the formula from the other ones. I'm like trying to figure it out. And I was still shocked by the reveal. When Jill was revealed, really, I was just like, holy shit. I was like, I did not see that coming. So this was like my Scream movie having that real reaction of like not knowing. And I can remember the first time watching this movie. So this Scream 4, even though it's probably my least favorite of the 4, and I think it's because I love the first 3 so much, this one still has like a special place in my heart because it was like my first Scream movie. So I do still love it. I love the Scream franchise as a whole. It's probably my least favorite. It's really because I don't go to it that often, but it's still really good.
Brad, any comments?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, it was a nice return to the franchise, and it was awesome to see, especially that far after the original one, and I guess the gap between 3 and 4 is what I'm talking about here, and to see it come back and to see it come back so well, I think it was great, and can't believe that's 10 years old already.
I know that's crazy to think about. That makes me feel old, and I know like I'm 22, but still like stuff like that. Like, oh my god, 10 years ago? Are you serious?
Yeah, I was about to turn 21, so Brad knows all about my 21st birthday fiasco during that year. So that'll be for another time.
I'm sure it was better than mine, whatever it was.
Oh man, let's see here. 2006 was interesting. For what I have for U.S. releases, Silent Hill, Creep Show 3. Which I didn't know there was a Creep Show 3.
There's a good reason for that.
And for this one, it doesn't really count, so we're not going to go into too much detail with it, but it came out at the Tribeca Film Fest on April the 27th of 2006, and that was Hatchet, which the U.S. release was on September the 7th of 2007. So for that episode in like a year and like 6 months' time, we'll go into more detail on that. But I just wanted to bring that to light real quick. Any thoughts on Silent Hill or Creep Show 3?
I would if I had seen them. I've only seen like the opening of Silent Hill. And I started watching it, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. So I kind of turned it off. I do want to watch it at some point just to say I've watched it. And all like the killer, like the villains, they look pretty creepy. You have like the pyramid head or whatever. I don't know. But I haven't seen it. And then Creepshow 3, I've heard it's just terrible. And like no one ever talks about that movie because I don't think, again, most people have seen it because it's just, I've heard it's not very good. So that's one I probably won't even try to watch. Especially like, I don't know, a Creepshow movie coming out in like 2006. Something about it. It's like, I don't think that fits too well with the times, maybe. I don't know. But I will watch Silent Hill.
Yeah, for both of those movies, I'm not very interested in. I just know that Creepshow is just popular with the horror community, and just Silent Hill is a popular horror video game. So I just want to bring those to life, but I honestly have no interest in watching them.
I don't either.
No, I just want to watch Silent Hill one time to say.
Just to say you did
I've watched it. Yeah, pretty much.
The next one I found was from 1996. I found two movies for Tremors 2.
Yes.
And Destiny, one that you did with the JMan and Cassie on Be Kind, Please Rewind, Fear.
Yeah.
Now, Tremors 2 is one that I really enjoyed. That's when Fred Ward comes back. He's out there tearing it up. The Shriekers start getting born. The cocoon effect for the Graboids. They turn into little small guys. And Fred Ward just has a blast in this thing. Bert comes back. Not this Bert, but the other one. Bert Gummer. He comes back. He's got freaking army trucks now, and he's got freaking loaded with guns. He's got a Barrett 50 cal. He's freaking blowing holes through everything, and it's awesome. It's a fun time. They're jumping on top of each other. And it's a blast. It's a fun movie.
Yeah,
I've
and
not seen Tremors 2 yet.
Yeah, me neither. But after having so much fun with the original Tremors, I want to see all the other Tremors too, no matter how. Yeah.
So I have a pack. Like I found it at Goodwill, and I think it has like 7 of them on there. And so I do have it. I want to watch it because I really enjoy that first one. That first one's so good and a lot of fun. And the way you're describing the second one. And I've heard that a lot of people prefer the second one to the first one. So that has me excited. I just need to sit down and watch it.
It's got a bigger budget, obviously, and they just, it's got a lot of fun, a lot of explosions, a lot of Graboids blowing up. A lot of fun. There's more Graboids obviously this time around than just the 3, so it's a good time, and I'm looking forward to watching that one again here at some point. I would definitely recommend it.
Yeah, you sold me on the explosions and all that, so I'm looking forward to Tremors 2. But Destiny, I know, is a big fan of Fear, because again, you all did that episode in February, so. Talk to us a little bit about Fear, because that's high on my watch list.
Oh, Fear is something I only watched last year for the first time because I found the VHS at Goodwill, and then I had seen something Lee did for Fear, and like he had the VHS for it, and I was just like, and I found it at Goodwill. I was like, oh, I have to get that, and I sat there and I watched it. Oh my god, I don't know if it's because it's like a 90s movie and I wasn't expecting it to be so intense. And there's not like a lot of gore, but when death does happen, it's like, what the fuck? So I really wasn't expecting it to take that turn. But it's so good. And it's a movie I love because, not that I'm saying I've been in a situation nearly as bad as Reese Witherspoon was in that. But it's a movie that's like cathartic, and me and Cassie talked about it a lot in our episode dealing with like abusive ex-boyfriends, and that's kind of what it's about. And it's something that movies like that, because I have a lot of anxiety and I tend to think the worst in every situation, and I feel like this movie, it's like the worst does happen in every situation. So whenever I was watching it, I was like, oh man, I would be thinking this guy's gonna try to kill me, and then it's sort of like that. So I'm just like, maybe sometimes my thoughts aren't wrong, because it's good to kind of be prepared for that. But it's so good. You definitely need. I have the VHS for you, Brett. I will send it to you. I promise. It's down here.
Oh no, you are good.
This is for you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much.
It's awesome. It's one that I don't hear talked about too much. I didn't even know this movie existed until last year, and it's so fucking. I even made my best friend Maddie. One day she came over, and I was like, "We have to watch this movie," and she had heard of it, hadn't seen it, and we were both like, "What the fuck?" She had the same reaction as I did. It's so fucking good. Brad, have you seen it?
I have. I've only seen it one time, and I haven't seen it since college. I think maybe my freshman year of college. But I remember really enjoying it. Obviously, Mark Wahlberg is really creepy in that, and he does a really good job of doing that role. And Reese Witherspoon too does a really good job in that movie. So I think the cast is spot on, and it is very psychological, and it's creepy. It's creepy.
It is. Yes.
Yeah. I'm so looking forward to it. Like, I got the VHS player, so I'm excited for when I do get to watch it. Like, because I've heard nothing but good things, and from watching your all's episode, it just sounds like a very intense movie. And sometimes I like a good intense movie.
It was pretty intense, and I just wasn't expecting it to be as intense as it was. So I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, like how have I not heard of this movie? Especially with the people that star in it. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon. Like, how have I not heard of
yeah,
this?
I know.
Like Brad said, they both play their parts so well. And seeing Mark Wahlberg in this kind of role, and I feel like it was one of his earlier roles, I was just like, geez, like
they were
plays
both
that
young
part
at that time.
oh yeah. Reese Witherspoon looks like, maybe it's because like the height and stuff, she looks like she's like 14 or something in this. And obviously, if you see it, she's not. But she looks very young. And then Mark Wahlberg, he's so hot in it, even though he's like, you're not supposed to like him. It's just, he kind of makes it hard, but that's the whole point, because that's how those people are, you know.
Kind of like a Ted Bundy style, but without the serious killings and all that.
Yeah, without the serious killings. Yeah.
I'm possibly missing something there, so I'll just have to see for myself on that.
Yes, can't recommend it enough.
Awesome. I'm glad it's got the anniversary for April coming up again, which is for April the 12th of 1996, and Tremors 2 for April the 9th of 1996. And for the last three, I'll just kind of combine them all together. We got Critters that came out on April the 11th of 1986. And then we got Bloody Birthday that came out on April the 28th of 1981. And then, of course, for lastly, we got The Thing from Another World that came out in April the 6th of 1951. Which that would be celebrating a 70th birthday, if my math is right. Yes, 70 years on that movie. So that is a very long time. Any thoughts on any three of those movies? I haven't seen any of them. Just for The Thing from Another World, I just know it being famous for John Carpenter's The Thing being a remake of that. And, of course, that it was played in the original Halloween. And
I think in Rob Zombie's Halloween, too, right?
Yeah,
I think that's what Lindsay's watching, and then Michael's like standing right there behind her. I'm pretty sure they're watching that too. And then in the beginning, I think that's what young Michael's also watching.
Yeah, I think that. Actually, from what I'm remembering, I think that's right. I'll get the Blu-ray 10 collector's edition of it on Monday, so I'm gonna watch it just to double check. But I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Thing from Another World. I want to, just because I know, like, it's referenced a lot, of course, and then John Carpenter's The Thing, same, like, what's it called? Like IP, I guess? I don't know. But I do want to see that. I've seen, of course, the kill count for Bloody Birthday. I haven't seen the movie. But from what I have seen, it seems like something I would really enjoy, because it's super cheesy. It has some great little killers, and that's always fun to see. Some kid killers in a movie. And then I haven't seen Critters yet, and I need to watch all of them. Haven't seen them.
And we got, I think, part of our Real Men schedule, we do have the original Critters on the watch list for the month of April.
All right. I need to find that.
So that would be like our first time. That would be my first time watching it. Were you going to say something?
I was just saying, I'm pretty sure if you go to Walmart, they have the Critters, like a little box set, or like where they all come in like the same little DVD case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if anyone's curious, check Walmart. They might have it.
All right. Brad, do you have any thoughts about those three movies?
Haven't seen Critters yet, unfortunately. I'm going to be watching it soon. The Thing from Another World I've never seen, but it's always cool to have, that's a big anniversary. That's 1951. So that's, that's 70 years. Yeah. So that's pretty good. And then I just want to say I've never seen Bloody Birthday, but happy Bloody Birthday to Bloody Birthday, and on the 28th of this month. So,
hey, that's my line.
Not anymore. It's not.
No, damn, I'm just jealous.
Whose line is it, anyways? That was a good show.
Yeah, and of course, why did they have a horror movie called My Bloody Birthday on my damn birthday month? That's like
Right?
I was like asking for a death wish or something.
I think you're gonna have to watch it for your birthday.
Oh, dude, I'm terrified. I got something in the works for my birthday this year on a movie watch, so stay tuned for that. So,
Ooh,
very cool.
Very cool. And yeah, that's all the anniversaries I have. So happy birthday to all those very awesome movies.
yes, happy birthday.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Back with the accents, Brad. I like it.
So let's see here. Is there anything else we want to talk about for this episode?
I think that is it. I like to be weird. Sorry. Yeah. Good first episode.
Really great time. I love this concept that we have all created together. We're very excited to keep this going. We do plan on for the first of every month. I know Elvira is very excited, but hi, Elvira.
Hey, always excited to jump in.
Oh, always excited. And then, of course, our next episode will be on May the 1st, as we'll be going over April horror news and May anniversaries, and with other fan films that we heard news from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Destiny, do you want to close us out?
Like and subscribe. And comment. And follow all our social medias and all the good stuff that you do.
And all that will be in the description below, like with Destiny, with House of the Living Dead. And we got all of ours at the bottom too. And Destiny, do you have anything coming up for the month of April?
The month of April, well, besides like Creeping Get Real, of course, on Monday nights. Really, I think that's it. I don't really.
Oh, yeah, and y'all got String Demons, too, on April the 3rd.
April 3rd, and then I don't know the date of it, but the second Friday of April, that's when Be Kind, Please Rewind. We will be watching 13 Ghosts. So, whatever the second Friday is of April.
That would be April the 9th.
There we go.
And then, let's see, that, and for your all's episode of String Demons, Brad's Pennywise better be mentioned.
Has to. We have to at least spend an hour talking about Brad's Pennywise. Just trying to figure out what is the accent. And just pinpointing each accent he uses. Yeah.
You'll have to do some digging there.
I will. I'll just go back and listen. And like every word I'll be like, okay, this kind of sounds a little Italian. I don't know what I'm picking up.
A little bit of German in there, maybe some Gungan.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little Austrian.
I like it though. Keeps everyone on edge.
Everyone on edge indeed. So until next time, we bring films and movie news back from the dead, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.